Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring back to the show Zack Franklin. Hey Zack, how you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Well,
Coming to you live from Bangkok.
yeah, so you're in Bangkok at the moment. You managed to get out of China before it all kind of broke over there. Lucky that you can obviously work from a laptop and, so what's been happening over the last few weeks since you've got out of China?
Well, I just walked out one day and I saw everyone wearing face masks everywhere I went.
Yeah.
I walked into like McDonald's to grab a coffee and everyone is just in face masks, and I said it's time to get out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, because I was really afraid that they might shut down the borders with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's essentially what's been going on. And now more and more cities are under lockdown. What's happened now is Hangzhou, which you might know as the home of Alibaba, is now going under full lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting because China is not a place where you do remote work. Like the entire country is very anti working from home. And now millions and millions of people have had to do this for the first time ever.
Yeah.
They crashed the Zoom servers in China. And DingTalk and stuff like that, because so many people are logging on for the first time to figure out how do they work from home.
Yeah.
Although people are saying that factories are going to open up on the 10th, I really don't believe this for a lot of areas, because they might technically be open, but a lot of key staff members are not going to make it back.
Yeah.
And what normally happens after Chinese New Year, and I've seen this a lot, that absolutely just shocks me, is once people get their Chinese New Year bonus, they quit.
That's right.
You have staff turnover of about 30-40% at a lot of these companies. And I've seen this where, you walk in and it's just the main job hunting season in China. And so nothing is going to be very stable for the next several months, because a lot of people are just not going to come back. And a lot of the people that might be training other people won't be there. And you're going to see, you really need to watch your quality from factories in the next couple months.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be a lot slower and a lot more inconsistent coming from China for a little bit. It's gotten to the point where I might even have to grab an apartment in Bangkok next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't, effectively, right at this moment in time, it's not advisable to try, not even if you could get back through the borders now. I think they've shut most of the borders in most cases, aren't they? I mean, even some of the factories, speaking to some people on the ground and my team, because we're trying to grab a load of the masks up to distribute. We're finding out that even governments are taking over some of the factories, which I'll explain in another podcast. He's taking over the factories to control the distribution and the production of the masks, because obviously you had the bushfires that brought round a worldwide shortage. And now that you've got people that are gorging in terms of pricing because materials are not available for masks and stuff, so the prices are going up. And obviously with the Chinese New Year, with people not being able to get back, so back to you then. So what are you going to do for the next couple of months? You said you might take out an apartment and stuff, but what's the feeling in Bangkok? What's going on there?
Well, Amazon actually has a global selling team here. I'm going to meet with them probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of sort of development work that I can do while I'm here. And for my main business, a lot of you guys know it, is still doing quite well. And we're thinking of releasing a version 2.0 very soon. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I can do remotely to help Amazon sellers. And I'm doing it, coming out with a lot of new ideas and starting development on about 4 different projects at the same time. I have a lot of high ticket dropshipping stuff about to go on. I've done Amazon at this point has become a lot of very rinse and repeat. And so I'm interested in trying a couple other things that I can then apply towards Amazon. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. And so what other things would you say to watch out, like in terms of what's going on in China from your observations? What are some of the key things? Because obviously people, like you said, you don't want hysteria and stuff like that. You just want people to keep on a level ground, you know. But obviously there is going to be an impact on Amazon business. What can you foresee, and what should people watch out for? Other than, you know, there is going to be a delay. People come back to factories. There is going to be a problem with new staff going to the factories and not being able to say, be as good with the manufacturing process on your products as the ones that are in the factory before the Chinese New Year.
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs to definitely diversify sourcing. I mean, China is still the best place in the world to get products. It's just for a period of like 2-3 months. If you're running low on stock, you know, now is not a good time.
Yeah.
You need to be able to continue your Amazon business in the event that the situation does get worse. And it's a good time to try products from other markets. It's just not going to be a very consistent time for at least 2 or 3 months coming out of China. And so even the Chinese sellers, their supply chains are drastically affected. And Chinese sellers are now is actually a very good time on Amazon for international sellers, because Chinese sellers are still in kind of a state of chaos. They've been out of work for basically a month. So your competition is very, you know, not so focused right now. And so Chinese sellers, you know, right now they're working from home, they're working reduced hours. They're probably, a lot of them, some of them are coming into the office February 10th, but a lot of people won't be able to go back or even leave their apartment complex. And so you're going to, you know, enter a state of kind of reduced competition where the Chinese sellers are not at their best for a couple months, which might make it very easy to rank a lot of products or to regain some of that market share. As we saw, you know, a study just came out recently that Chinese sellers are making up more than half of Amazon, which I would definitely agree with. But it might be a good time to kind of branch out to other countries and other areas and just continue to diversify everything. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm in the rare position that millions of other people are not, in which I left my house with a backpack and I know I might not be back for months, but I'm in an okay position. And I know a lot of people don't have that location independence business. And if you don't have that, you need to start building that, because you never know if you're going to be safe in a world like this if you don't have the ability to move where you need to move.
Yeah, I think a lot of the Western world, especially Amazon sellers, they do have that flexibility. Other than, you know, family and your pets, etc., in your home, I think most people don't have staff on site that I know personally. Anyway, I think, you know, everyone has virtual assistants. They have their factories, and they do have their team on the ground in China, etc. They have they have contractors more so than staff. So there are obviously a few. I mean, obviously a big thing is that there's a, touch wood, there's a greatly reduced chances of it breaking like widespread in the UK, but nothing's impossible. So people in the UK are obviously safe, but you've got neighbouring countries like I think on Sunday or so you had the first death in the Philippines. So you don't know.
But that was actually a Chinese guy that was just happened to be in the Philippines while he died.
There you go. So that's what I mean, is that you have to have context to what you hear and the story, right? And so the other thing I heard the other day, and I don't know how true it is, but it seems the people that have been affected and have passed away from the coronavirus have been of Asian origin.
They're all pretty much older Chinese with pre-existing health conditions. If you are young and healthy, this is not the disease you need to worry about, other than the effects on the supply chain. For the most part.
Okay, so let's get on to some more positive news. You're coming to the UK. You're going to be here May 9th at Seller Sessions. Do you want to give?
I'm really excited. This is my second time in the UK, and I have a lot of great stuff to talk about. So a lot of people have been wondering, you know, why are Chinese sellers so successful? Are they all just black hat? What's going on? And I'll be able to break down exactly how Chinese are running their business to succeed. And it's probably not what you think. Other than that, I've been a speaker at, you know, some of the top marketing conferences in the world. And I've managed to spend millions of dollars on Amazon ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, you name it. So I have a lot of strategies that I see a lot of sellers doing wrong, because a lot of the people that are teaching marketing for Amazon, they're Amazon sellers that happen to pick up some marketing. They're not marketers who picked up Amazon. I think going that other direction gives you a huge amount of context to the marketing conversation that people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it gives you a lot of ways to look at tricks that you're able to do much more effectively. If you know how marketing is done in a lot of these other types of businesses, it provides you a huge advantage when you go to Amazon. And so we're going to show a lot of different ways to do that.
Superb. Cool. So guys, that's on May 9th. Seller Sessions Live brought to you by Thrasio. Zach, what's the best way for people to reach you if they've got any questions, in and around China with the coronavirus, and what with your work and what you're up to at the moment on the market side?
That's a really good question. So you can either try sending me a message at zach@amzkungfu.com. If that doesn't go through, you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on LinkedIn. Make sure to say, hey, I heard you on Danny's podcast.
Yep.
And please give me a little bit of information about who you are and what your business is and stuff like that, because I get probably about 20, 30 messages a day that are just like, hi.
Yep.
And I don't understand what to do with that. So if you're going to, message me, feel free, but just give me a little bit of context about who you are, how I can help, and what's going on.
Sounds good. Guys, thank you for joining us. I'll be back again in the next few days. Take care.